And now a summary of the weather. Fog, clearing, sun coming, nice, not cold, no bad rain, smiles, happy day. But now it's time to link up with our European partners to celebrate the opening of the Channel Tunnel. It's Good Morning, Calais.
Will you join us here as we await the arrival of the first English train to travel across land to France? No sign of it yet, so let's cross over to Dover and join Mike.
Splatter my bloody... Hello! Will you join us here as we await the arrival of the first train to travel by land from France to England? No sign of it yet, so let's go to Calais and join Anna.
Well, where the hell is it then? Hello there! Will you join me at a most intriguing moment in this historic occasion? Because the train is apparently somewhere in the tunnel. And Mike has all the details.
Find out where it's got to, then. What a complete... Welcome back. Anna.
Mike!
Hey, look! Bloody train! Well, you join us at a most important time because I gather Anna has some important news for us.
Who are you? Well, I'm joined by one of the many interesting and colourful figures who are here for the opening of the Channel Tunnel, and his name is...
Wie bitte?
Wie bitte? What does the V stand for, Mr. Bitter?
Wie bitte?
Oh, you're German. Right, I'm sorry. Well, perhaps we can have a conversation in German, and maybe I can translate for those viewers at home who maybe don't speak it quite as well as I do. Sie sind Deutsch. You're German.
Ja.
And was machen Sie hier? What are you doing here?
Ich bin Lehrer.
You're a teacher. Wunderbar. Wonderful.
Jawohl. Yes, indeed.
Und was lehren Sie? What do you teach?
Ich lehre Englisch.
I teach English. Me too.
Und wie lange haben Sie Englisch gelehrt?
And how long have you taught English?
2 years.
2 Jahre.
Have you ever been to England?
Sie sind in England gewesen?
Yes, twice.
Ja, zweimal.
Also, vielen Dank fürs Gespräch.
Oh, so thank you very much for speaking to us.
Und jetzt zum Studio zurück.
And back to the studio.
Well, there can be very few presenters who can conduct an interview simultaneously in 2 different languages, and an adapter certainly doesn't seem to be one of them. Well, I'm delighted to be joined on this historic day by the head of the Italian delegation to the European Parliament, Signor Franco Rossi. Signor Rossi, how do you see Italy's role in the united Europe?
C'è un buco in vostri pantaloni e mettiamo che andiate a passare qualche giorno a Roma, vi conviene arrivare a Milano o Firenze.
Thank you. Stay with us. We'll be coming back to you just as soon as we found an interpreter. Also with us is Michael Matthews.
In my opinion, these Europeans are just a bunch of slimy wobbles who want to take our jobs and wobble their distended whatnots under the noses of our good lady wives.
Who is Conservative Euro MP for Westfield East. Well, 2 experts here, but what does Joe Public think? Joe, thank you for joining us.
Well, of course, we are already inextricably linked to Europe by such things as the exchange rate mechanism. But it seems crystal clear to me that if the exchange rate bands are preset, then the ERM is the only way we're going to stabilise the fiscal fluctuations.
Yes, this is crystal clear in the completely incomprehensible sense of the word, isn't it, of course?
Karate.
I'm sorry, Dr. Massett?
I'm sorry, I appear to have said karate.
Yes, well, not to worry. I'm sure you remember why in a moment. Well, in 1992, the single European market begins. And to mark its arrival, the EEC have commissioned a Euro anthem expressing the hopes and ideals of the new Europe, which we can now hear for the very first time.
You're the only European Economic Community for me. So tell me I love you. And I want to 1992 to you.
community for me. Je t'aime means I love you. And I want to 1992 to you. Could have seen more of that. Look forward to the 12-inch. Well, many people over here are worried that European unity will in fact mean a European takeover of this country. And right now, I'm joined by one of the architects of the new Europe, the distinguished German statesman Adolf Hitler. Helmut Brandt. Sorry, Helmut Brandt. So, Helmut, will there be a German takeover of this country?
What makes you think that?
Well, this EC plan of the next stage of the single market.
I'm sorry, I have never seen this map before.
No, that's because we drew it. Still, never mind. Dr. Matthews, how do you feel about European unity?
Oh, let's face facts. The crowds can't be trusted, the wops march backwards into battle, and the greasy frogs will sleep with anyone who'll buy them dinner. Or is that not a fashionable viewpoint these days?
John Donne said, no man is an island, you know.
That's pretty bloody obvious. Might as well have said, no man is a pancake. Must have said...
Yes. So you think that an isolationist policy is justified because it allows greater independence to each country and therefore greater freedom?
Now, you're deliberately preg-seeing my remarks to make a logical and coherent argument, and I won't stand for it.
Yes, well, thank you, Dr. Matthews.
No, I haven't finished yet.
Common agricultural policy. Thought that would do it. Let's go back to Anna.
Well, I've got a chance to talk to the driver of the British train currently on its way to Dover, Ken Brown, and ask him the question that's on everyone's lips. What the hell are you doing here when you should be driving the train?
I've come back to go to the toilet.
What is a pond without a fish? What is a wishing well without a wish? What is a wall without a dish? KYTV.
Join me, Mike Flex, every Saturday at 7 for my brand new series of home videos that I think you'll agree is going to be a lot of fun, called You've Been Hurt. Oh, yes, if you've got any home videos of serious accidents or misfortunes like that, send them to me at KYTV and let us all share the joke. Have a look at this. Ryan, how did you feel when you had that crash?
I don't really remember.
That's tremendous. Thanks very much for coming along. Yeah. Can you top that? And don't forget, there's a prize for the one the audience vote the funniest. This is my favourite.
Now, give us some going. Now, just now, OK.
Look what I've done. Sorry, Dad.
1992, a special year, a year which bridges the gap between 1991 and 1993 in a way no other year can. But what does it mean to the average man in the street? Mike Flex has been out and about in Dover.
Madam, what does 1992 mean to you?
Don't ask me. My husband deals with that sort of thing.
Madam, I'm asking people in the street about 1992 and what it means to them.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Sir, the single European market and the lifting of trade barriers, how do you feel about it?
Well, it doesn't really affect me. I work in the city.
What do you think about the prospect of a single European market in 1992?
No, I think I'll still use Sainsbury's.
Sir, what do you feel about 1992?
Well, I find it rather difficult to have a feeling about a year.
No, I meant the single European market.
I say, I find it rather difficult to have a feeling about a year.
Yes. But what about the lifting of trade barriers?
Did you get that, then?
Yes, we did, yes.
Yes, yes. It's on the telly, is it?
Yes, it is.
Yes. I say, I find it rather difficult to have a feeling about a year.
Yes, I haven't heard that.
Yes, yes. Where's it on, then?
Well, it's on tonight, in fact.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, can I say hello to someone?
Yes, all right.
Yes. You won't cut this out, will you?
No, no.
No. Could I just say...
Calais.
Well, very shortly, KYTV will be bringing you a brand new channel in response to the thousands of viewers who have written in complaining about the existing ones. And it's going to be called KY Europe. Impressive logo, I'm sure you'll agree. And KY Europe will be bringing you programmes from European satellite television, some of which may be familiar. Firstly, from Allez-vous-en TV in France.
Absolument.
Non, écoutez-moi,
Oui, Miss Mandarin.
Il ne l'aime pas ou non, Monsieur Mandarin?
Merci, James.
Je ne pense pas que c'est une bonne idée, moi-même. And from Achtung Fernsehen in Germany.
Also, hast du das Bonken mit Charlene Craig?
Nein. Nicht mit Charlene.
Hast du den Kylie gebonkt, darling?
And this from El Paella television in Spain.
Donde está la puerta?
What?
Donde está la puerta?
Well, it's over here, mate.
And there are certain advantages in watching British programmes on European television, as you can see from the Dutch coverage of Match of the Day.
is goed uit Amsterdam en waar gaan we goed naar jagen, Jimmy? Goeienacht.
And there are foreign versions of our own favourites, such as Italian Mastermind.
Dove è il David di Michelangelo?
Firenze.
Sì, esatto. Quante muse sono nella letteratura greca antica?
5?
No, 9. Roberto Calvi è morto sotto...
And the Russian version of Blind Date. In Sweden, the news at 10.
God dag. Orden ni turnar riksdagshabitat,
And finally, from Italy, every Saturday at midnight, Today in Parliament. Now, a lot of people are, of course, worried by the new EC regulations affecting British products. Helmut, how do you defend these?
Well, our rules are simply designed to make sure that your products are what they claim to be.
What about fish and chips?
Well, we have merely asked for a technically more exact description.
Yes. Soggy, overcooked, unidentified sea animal in batter substitute.
Yes.
It's hardly going to help it sell, is it?
Exactly.
Well, I gather you're also passing regulations to do with pop music.
Yes, well, to bring British rock bands up to European standards, every band must now consist of 2 girls and 2 men. One of whom must be a 45-year-old grey-haired man with a dyed black moustache and an over-tight purple lounge-suit and bow tie, who sings with his eyes closed and clutches a microphone as if he is badly constipated.
Good, so there's still a future for Gary Glitter, then. Signor Rossi, isn't rock music a rather odd area for EC regulations?
Ebbene, sul primo canale c'è un spettacolo piccante con la partecipazione di Milva per fare Strut Your Rumble to the Funk. E nel secondo c'è altri artisti con molti big hit. Di da du ron ron, di da paluna boom bang bang, dua di di dam di du, papa mau mau, dubi dubi dubi.
Yes, thank you. I think that answers my question. And a number of other ones as well. But in the meantime, let's turn to the world of entertainment and the onset of deregulated broadcasting in Europe has led to a number of co-productions between member countries. So on KYTV, we are delighted to have our own detective series specially tailored to be equally comprehensible in 3 different languages. Les Filth.
Richard, Signor Alberto sera à l'entrepôt à Naples à 7h ce soir.
Signor Alberto will be at the warehouse in Naples at 7 o'clock tonight, you say?
Signor Alberto wird 7 Uhr zum Warenhaus.
Merci, Jean.
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye.
3 detectives from different countries working together under the excitement of EEC guidelines.
Donner und Blitzen, die Lichter sind rot.
Oui, les feux sont rouges. Oh, le canard.
Damn and blast. Now the lights are red.
Never mind, es ist grün, wir fahren.
Oui, les feux sont verts. Bien.
Good. Now the lights are green. Let's go.
Scheiße.
Now the lights are red. 3 nationalities brought together by a single goal, to stamp out the mafia in 3 different languages.
I'm dying. Tu meurs?
Ja, ich sterbe.
We have plunder our life, copper.
Look, Signor Alberto.
Signor Alberto? Où?
Là-bas, près de la porte.
Over there? Next to the door?
Ja, drüben.
Pronto, allegro. Hey,
Ow! Ooh. Late film, tonight on KYTV.
Tu veux faire les Gigi?
Of course, I want to screw.
Welcome back. So, have these new EC regulations from Brussels actually affected our lifestyle? Dr. Matthews?
Well, of course they have. It's a bloody scandal. I mean, look at coffee. You can't get a decent cup of English instant these days without it being frothed up and spat in.
Yeah.
I mean, where's it all going to end, eh? If I want to buy a French letter, I suppose I'm going to have to buy an aerogram with a picture of the Eiffel Tower on it to wrap around my knob.
Yes, I think that's probably what it's in.
Yes, and talking of knobs...
Oh, dear.
Yes, now you're buggering about with the size of the British condom. No, there are obviously people in the EEC who'd like to see the British penis squashed up like half a pound of sausage meat in a Caledon Bowser toffee wrapper.
They are simply trying to bring the British penis in line with the rest of Europe.
Well, that's what I'm complaining about.
I don't know why. It'll actually mean a sizable increase.
This is all a plot so that you foreigners can come over here and eat our women and sleep with our food.
I'm not quite sure you've got it quite the right way round, actually, but...
No, I'm talking about the Italians.
Oh, right, fair enough, yes.
Well, still no sign of the train per se this end, but it does joyfully give us a time to talk to one of the chief architects of the Channel Tunnel, Belgian construction engineer Hervé Diderot. And we've also been joined by Eurotunnel's liaison officer, Christopher Hanks, who's kindly agreed to offer himself as an interpreter. So, Hervé, welcome to Dover.
Bienvenue à Dover.
Merci, c'est un jour mémorable et historique, je vous assure.
I'm afraid I didn't quite catch all that. No, I didn't get that either, I'm afraid.
I say it's a memorable and historic day.
No, I'm still not confident.
I think he said it's a very memorable and historic day.
Did he?
Yes.
Well, can you say thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to have this opportunity to speak to him.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to have this opportunity to speak to you.
It's a pleasure.
What did he say?
It's a pleasure.
The Channel Tunnel is today. We can say good morning, Calais. Bonjour, Dover. Hello, Ghent. Willkommen, Dover.
Goodbye, Kent.
So what is the reaction to the tunnel here in Calais? Excuse me, sir, what do the French think?
I don't know. I'm from Burnley.
Now it's time on KYTV for
a commercial break.
Out now on KY Records, your chance to own the definitive collection of national anthems played by 20 classic rock giants. And Fergal Sharkey sings the Marseillaise. And our own God Save the Queen, played as you've never heard it before by the Shadows. Plus, for the kids, Timmy Mallet sings the Stars and Stripes.
Uh-oh, say, can you sing?
20 great anthems. Buy Volume 1 for just double the price and get Volume 2 absolutely free. When you're up to your neck in housework and the kids are getting on your nerves, then this is what you need. Wilson's Cricket Bat. Keeps them quiet. Dr. Matthews, do you see this train as a symbol of the new Europe?
Yes, I do. Hot and overcrowded with smelly toilets.
I can't help noticing you seem almost anti-European.
No. I'm all for European unity. Just as long as we aren't included in it.
Signor Rossi, do you find it expensive over here in England?
Sì, bene, possibilmente il fettuccine mi ha lasciato un buon ricordo.
Signor Rossi, do you speak English at all?
Sì.
Yes.
Sì.
But, maybe you could tell us if you find it expensive over here in England in English.
Yes. Well, you know, there are so many which, for me, are, is very much money. Some which, yes, more than, but others is not so money, So it's all very problem for all the people.
Yes, maybe you could start speaking Italian again.
Well, I gather that although the train is somewhat overdue, the train has set some sort of record anyway, because a woman on board has just given birth to twins. Remarkable. Particularly since she wasn't even pregnant when the train set out.
Into the tunnel goes the train, and out of the tunnel it pops again.
Or not, as the case may be. Well, just briefly, some travel news now, just in. Due to a Spanish air traffic controllers strike, flights in and out of Malaga Airport are colliding. Well, some people may be worried that more European television will mean the advent of tatty quiz shows endlessly repeated, but not here on KYTV, because we already have our own tatty quiz show, which is endlessly repeated. And here to prove it is the third showing today of Mike Flex's European Master Quiz.
OK, so I'd like to start with a very simple round. I'd like you just to spell the name of your native country. So, Maria, let's start with you.
Italia.
Yes, very close. It actually ends in a Y. Pierre.
France.
Yes, I'm afraid there's no such letter as And finally, Klaus.
Deutschland.
Not even one correct letter there, so... Let's go on to our first round. Nobody off the mark yet. No pun intended there, Klaus, by the way. And the first round is history. So, Klaus, your history question coming up. Who won the World Cup in 1966?
England.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that.
England.
England, yes, indeed. England did, in fact, win the World Cup in 1966. And for 10 points, Klaus, who did they beat?
I can't remember.
I'll give you a clue. Quite a lot of people you know live in this country.
West Germany.
West Germany, yes, indeed. England did, in fact, thrash West Germany in the World Cup final of 1966. Now, Pierre, which London railway station is named after a famous 19th century battle?
Winslow?
Yes, you're not really trying now, are you? I'll give you another chance.
Waterloo.
Waterloo, yes, and who was defeated at Waterloo?
France.
Yes, France. Britain did, in fact, whop the froggies at the Battle of Waterloo. And speaking of whops, Maria. Anagrams for you. Lussomini is the anagram of which well-known fascist dictator?
Mussolini.
Mussolini. Who's from?
Italy.
Italy, yes. Who pulled out the Second World War halfway through?
Italy.
Italy, yes. Who has come last in more It's a Knockout competitions than anybody else?
Italy.
Italy, yes. Where does the mafia come from?
Italy.
Italy, yes. Who runs the mafia?
My father.
Does he? Who won this year's Eurovision Song Contest?
Italy.
Italy, yes. Where do I love going on holiday?
Italy.
Italy, yes. What's my favourite meal?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Spaghetti bolognese. And who has won the quiz?
Maria!
Good old Maria from good old ITALIA, where the mafia comes from.
The Channel Tunnel. Dig it.
Let's take a break, and by a special arrangement with Je M'en Fous TV, we can bring you one of the commercials French viewers will be seeing on their televisions today.
Bonjour, U. Oh, U.
Hello, U.
C'est U. Oui, c'est U.
C'est U.
Bonjour, U. Oui, c'est U.
Welcome back. Well, the United States of Europe, of course, if it did come about, would not be a particularly popular title. And at the last summit meeting of EC foreign ministers, a number of alternatives were suggested. The Germans suggested the countries together for a common purpose and overall trade benefit unification understanding arrangement programme. Trips off the tongue nicely. The Italians suggested the Cooperative of International Associated Oligarchies. That was just so they could shorten it to CHOW. The Belgians, they've suggested Europe. Of course, that could so easily be a Belgian joke, as they are completely undetectable. And finally, the British suggestion, based on the fact that it was the unification of a lot of countries that had once had kings, was the United Kingdom. Seems fair?
Oh, marvellous,
Right, well, I gather that the train is now being pushed the last few yards out of the tunnel, so while we're waiting for it to emerge, Sir Robert Sapp said this must be a very proud day for you.
Oh, yes, Mike. Very proud day for me and for all of us here today, yes.
Right, well, while we're waiting for it to arrive, perhaps I could just ask you one or two things. Have there been any hairy moments for you? Difficult times, I mean?
No, it's all gone very well.
Very smooth. Whole operation, well polished.
Yes.
Yes, good. So how much hair? So how many have there been working here? Men with hair. How many men are there working here?
Well, I believe there have been somewhere in the region of over 5,000 men.
Really?
Yes, of course, I'm picking that figure off the top of my head, you understand.
Yes, good, yes. Well, you're confident, are you, anyway, that you've got things taped? Things to do with the tunnel?
Oh, there were times when we thought the money might run out.
Oh, and you were worried that you might have the rug pulled from under you? From on top of you. The whole thing blown away. I mean, good. Well, thank you very much. Anyway, we wait with great excitement for the train to emerge, but for now, thank you very much, Sir Robert Slaphead. Sir Robert Slaphead, Chairman of British Whig.
Well, that just about concludes this Euro extravaganza. Only a few minutes left. Just time for a quick change of Italian government. So, if I could just ask you for one final word.
Yes, if
you could answer one at a time. Joe.
Look, we've been through this whole programme and the most important point hasn't even been raised yet.
What's that?
Well, I don't know. It hasn't been raised yet.
Dr. Matthews?
Well, I think it's a myth.
What?
Jason and the Argonauts.
Yes, well, I think it is.
Yeah.
EC quotas. Helmut Brandt, thanks for joining us. I'm sure you're going to slip off and invade somewhere, so...
I'm sorry, but I have never been so insulted in all my life. You have traded on racial stereotypes all evening, and I simply won't stand for it.
I'm sorry about that. Signor Rossi, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, this can go on all night. So let's finally go over to Dover and Mike Flex for what could turn out to be a memorable and very special Euro climax.
I love you.
Well, we gather the train is nearing the end of the tunnel at long last, and we can now expect to see the historic sight of the first train to cross from the continent of Europe to England. On dry land. And it should be emerging any minute now.
So, a slight miscalculation there. Still, the British engineer's nearly right. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to insist on working in imperial measurements when everyone else had gone metric.
Late bit of European traffic news for drivers in the Palermo region of southern Italy. Motorists should expect long delays as a volcano has shed its load. You're advised to seek alternative routes as there are thousands fleeing homeless.